All right. Good evening, everyone. Hope you're doing well. JP Koster, Platinum Presidential Director. Great to share with all of you this evening. I'm not sure if you can notice, but I've got myself proper lighting, so hopefully it works a bit better. First of all, before we get going, I just want to say well done to all the associates that are currently involved with Manatech, just to say what an amazing business period. I mean, all of you have just, completely knocked me out of my socks regarding the volume we've done this month. Traditionally after the end of a business period, you normally find that, it's quite challenging because a lot of people worked very hard for his incentive, which finished in the end of August. And just, it's amazing to see how we've maintained our volume, how a lot of leaders are actually growing. And I think it's just a testament to the amazing product technology we have and also the amazing compensation plan we have. Just going through some of the numbers, it's just, it's mind blowing. So to all of you, very, very well done, especially the associates. And more important than that, it's just that you're making a massive difference in a lot of people's health and wellness. I was just getting some incredible testimonials this week again about what the product is doing for people in their lives. So that's what this is all about. It's about making a positive impact in people's lives. And thank you for what you guys do. And I must say, it's amazing to be, standing in my living room. I've just helped put my kids to bed, and I'm on a conference call. We never used to be able to do this many. A year ago, most of us were all doing live meetings and everything. So now we can obviously do this from the comfort of our home. So just before I get into the presentation, I've just got two brand new Gold Executive Directors who I just have asked to share just briefly about, why they're involved with Manatech, why they're excited about this. So these are the newest Gold Executive Directors in my group, at least. And also in South Africa, I believe there were 4 or 5 new Gold Executive Directors in the whole of South Africa last month, which ended up obviously the month of September. And a Gold Executive Director is basically someone that's produced over 20,000 points, in DPV, which is, don't worry too much about the terms if you're new on the call this evening, but basically it just means you've helped a lot of people on the product. You've literally sold lots and lots of products. It's almost like having 200 people ordering, a substantial amount of product every month. And more importantly than that, also Gold Executive Directors, they help more than 200 kids every single month on the product. We've got a Mission 5 Million Foundation, which is where we feed kids that are malnourished, and all these brand new leaders are now going to be feeding over 200 kids every month as they maintain their orders. And so what I've asked to do, basically I've asked the first Gold Executive Director just to share briefly. So I'm just going to quickly make a co-host so she can obviously put her camera on, so it should work. There we go. Okay. So the first Gold Executive Director is going to be Leandri Vosloo, who is going to share with us a little bit. I'm not sure, Leandri, if you can let your video, put your video on, and then you've got about 3 or 4 or 5 minutes to share briefly why you're involved, and I'll obviously make sure that we pin your video. So looking very, very forward to hear your story. I know that Subi mentioned to me you are quite heavily pregnant, so you said you definitely want to speak first in case we never know what's going to happen. So maybe so anyways, over to you. So excited to hear a little bit more from you. Leandri, you can, all over to you. Oh, okay, Leandri, your sound is not working for some other reason. Just check your sound. Okay, there you go. Yes, now it's working.
All right. Good evening, everybody. My name is Leandri Vosloo, and I'm a Gold Executive Director in Manatech. We live on a farm just outside Wesselsbron, so it's a very small town. And then I would firstly like to thank you, JP and Koster, for giving us this platform to talk tonight, and also our 2-star platinums, Louis and Leonie van der Linde, for this legacy company that they've been building for us here in South Africa. And then to my special lady, Sumi van den Berg, my sponsor and Irola. You are such an amazing example for me and my team. And thank you for putting me on your names list. All right. Why I started Manatech in the first place. I started Manatech a year and a half ago in February. I was pregnant, and then in January, my first son was born, and then I started Manatech in the February month. I was an Afrikaans teacher for high school students, and if there's any teachers on the call tonight, they would know marking and schoolwork and being a language teacher takes a lot of your energy and your time also, because there's a lot of marking papers and doing assignments and everything. So it only started hitting me that I wanted to be at home with my children when my son was born in January. Yes, I really wanted to be with my children. I wanted to be their first person to learn them something. And I think a lot of moms would also agree with me if they're also in the same position. So after 6 months being in this business in Manatech, my husband and I made the decision that I can stay at home because I was already earning a passive income. And yes, then after 6 months, I resigned at my job at the teaching. And then I started being at home with my little son every 24 hours a day. And I cannot tell you how privileged we are to be at home with your children and to learn them everything that you know about life. Then the most exciting blessing, as JP also said now, I'm currently 36 weeks pregnant and expecting a second son. So I've got 2 boys on the way. And then, yes, the biggest blessing for me is that I can still earn a passive income with being tired and all the hormones and everything. And that was the best decision I made, was to start Manatech, because it's a passive income. I can be with my my children, and I don't think there's anything better than this company. Thank you, JP.
Awesome, Leandri. Thank you so much for sharing. Really appreciate it. Yeah, so all these Gold Executive Directors, they're obviously all on their way to Presidential Director, which is obviously quite a big milestone. But I would really obviously share with all of you that a Gold Executive Director check is sort of where maybe one of the spouses can sort of come home from work, obviously depending on your circumstances and so forth. But more importantly, like I said earlier, it's you really making a big difference. So next up, I'm going to ask Marianne, who is a brand new Gold Executive Director. I've had lots of fun with this lady in the past in Strasbourg and in Gullis. I've gone to do meetings there with her and her daughter. So I'm very, very excited to obviously hear her share. I mean, yeah, I mean, the one thing I can share with all of you is that her PPV this month, I think, was over 5,000 PPV. So she sold a lot of product this month because I think she really wanted to go Gold Executive Director, and we're very, very proud of her, obviously the entire group. So Marianne, can you turn on your video and hopefully your sound and everything works? I know you, oh, okay, there we go. Okay, perfect. Okay, I'm going to quickly pin the video and then we're good to go.
Good evening, everybody. Can you hear me, JP? Am I fine?
Yes, we can hear you.
Good evening, everybody. Good evening, JP. JP, thank you so much for this amazing opportunity to share tonight. I would also like to thank Louis and Leonie, our 2-star platinums, as the previous speaker just said, for building this amazing business and giving us this platform to just change our lives and people's lives. Thank you to my presidential upline, Gary and Shamaine van Aswegen, for always being there. It's so easy to build this business with you guys because you are leading from the front by example. It's easy to follow you. And then my mentor, Martelusha White. Yes, a lot of stuff that I can say about Martelusha, but I think with, what will sum it up is, thank you, Martelusha. Times when I don't know how to move forward or don't want to go forward, you somewhat carry me on your back. So thank you so much for being that person in my life. JP also asked me to just share why I'm doing this business. So since I can remember, I was like a people's person. People always come to me with problems and I always help them. We've been staying in Strasbourg for about 22 years, and since I can remember, people, if they say they want something to be done, or they say, I've got a problem, they always say, just go to Marianne there at security. And then Marianne helped them. And, you know, I always thought that I really helped people until I found Manatech, until I could lie in bed in the evenings and know in my deepest heart that I really changed someone's life. I knew that I give them something to look forward to. And being said that, I would like to tell all the people on the call tonight, if you really want to change people's lives and get a bucket full of money doing that, please contact the person that invited you on this call tonight. Please, people, there is, I believe in my heart, there's no better business, no better platform in the whole world with better products that you can find for changing your life and people's lives. I would also quickly like to share with you, about 2 weeks ago, this is also something that I realized, yo, this is so amazing. This business is so amazing. About 2 weeks ago, we went hunting on a farm in the Karoo, my husband and our children. And one day, while they were in the veld busy chasing kudus or waiting for the kudus, I walked around the farm and I started chatting with a young lady. And after a while, she told me about a little boy that she helped with special needs. And that boy she helped for a few years. And suddenly the day before, he looked up to the sky and said, "Daar is die son, kyk na die son." And she struggled for such a long time to get him to do that. And at that moment, I knew I must share Manatech with her. I have to share the products with her. And it just came out of my mouth. I didn't thought about it 2 times, how to tell her, how what this business is and about the products, Manabeers, etc. And when I walked home after about an hour and a half chat to this lady, I thank the Lord so dearly for giving me this, for blessing me with a business and with products that I can receive amazing stories of gratefulness. People sending me a WhatsApp and say, "Thank you, Marianne. My mother remembered where to put the cups. Thank you, Marianne. My child's marks is better." And so on. So please talk to the person that invited you on this call. You won't regret it for one moment. Thank you, JP, so much for this opportunity again. God bless all of you. Good night.
Awesome. Bye, thank you, Marianne. Thank you, everyone. Thanks for sharing. So awesome to see that almost 331 people on the call this evening. So we're going to run through everything I'd like to be done in the next sort of 15 minutes, if possible. So, just a little bit about how I got involved with Manatech. I've been doing this for 12 years now. Started off as a student wanting to earn extra income, and obviously heard about the product from one of my very, very good friends whose mother was a medical doctor, and I bought some product, sold that product to some friends and family, and needless to say, within like 10 months, we were selling almost $60,000 of the product a month. And I decided to obviously spend a bit more time and effort into this. I, in fact, stopped my degree, and I just sort of went flat out with this, and I obviously finished my degree about 4 or 5 years ago. My wife thought it might be a good idea to finish because I've only had 1 year left to do. But so the reason why I share that with you is because I think all of us start somewhere, and I think for me, I started with Manatech to earn an extra $5,000 a month, and maybe you're on the call here this evening because you are looking for something. I mean, this evening is a lot more focused on the business and the opportunity. And obviously, you know, some of the other calls we do are much more focused on how the product works, where we've got, you know, people, healthcare, you know, people in health and wellness sharing about what the product's done for them, how it works, and so forth. So what I just want to share with all of you, I mean, if you're on the call this evening, I just want to put a disclaimer there, and that's that this is not a get-rich-quick scheme. This is not something where you can invest money and next month you have made 10% return on your investment, or in next year you've made R1 million type of thing. That's not how the business works. It's very, very much at least for me, what I feel, I think you rather want to build something that's solid, that's stable, that maybe, you know, it takes a while to get off the ground, but at least you put in the groundwork in. And I think that's very much how your Manatech business works. It's definitely something that does take time and effort. And I think for me, for most people out there, I mean, I think they appreciate knowing the fact that you've got to put time and effort into it. So, but I want to tell you one thing is that if you wanting to earn extra income, there's no better way, at least for me, that I've found for the average ordinary person. You know, it doesn't matter whether you're male or female or what creed or color or race you are, it's really for everybody, where anyone can start and have the opportunity to earn a passive income, where they can do something working from home, where they can do something internationally. I mean, that's really what if you just look at this whole lockdown we've been in, is what are people looking for? They're looking for something they can do from home, looking for something where they can actually build a business all over the world. And of course, people are looking for something where they are able to utilize things like social media. They're able to do something where there's low startup costs. And I think for me, the most important thing about Manatech is you're working with a product that runs out every month. I've seen so many network marketing companies where you've got a product, it takes too long to sell the product. You need something that lasts only 1 month. I mean, and of course, we've got that with Manatech. Our products don't last 2 months or 3 months or 5 months. They only last 30 days. And that's obviously a critical thing if you're looking at building this type of business. So what I just want to share with all of you also before we sort of go into the presentation is that, you know, I think, you know, specifically when I'm talking to people, I had a meeting this morning with 2 people, and I was just thinking about it. You know, so often we go and buy products and services from these massive multinational corporations. You know, you go to this big company and buy your vitamin and mineral. You go and buy your supplements from the pharmacy or wherever it may be. And I think for me, I think the nice thing with Manatech is, number one, you get to buy from yourself, which is amazing if you're looking at this as a business. But number two is, if you are buying the product, you're actually getting support a family member or a friend of yours. I mean, wouldn't you rather be helping your friends than helping some shareholder that you're never even going to meet? You're never even going to go to their house and have a cup of coffee or tea or go for a bra. And I think that's what this is really all about. It's really about this whole thing of relationship marketing. And why this model works so well is that you've got someone that actually knows you personally, that's sharing a product with you, but more importantly, they can check up how you're doing on the product. They can follow up with you. They're actually, in fact, using the product they're selling. How many of us have not gone to, have someone sell us a product they've never even used? That's what makes Manatech amazing, is that all the people that share the product with you are, in fact, using the product and actually understand how the product works and really understand the technology behind this amazing concept. So, so what I'm going to do now is I'm quickly going to do a screen share. So hopefully this works. And there we go. And I can actually, okay, perfect. So let me just open this up a bit bigger. So I think for me, the first thing, and all of us have got to realize, is that there are lots of different companies. I mean, I think for me, the most important thing, if you are going to do network marketing, make sure that you join a company, number one, that's like you would have heard Andrew share earlier, that's a legacy company. So they've been in business for, more than 10 years, for instance. They're not a startup that started a year ago or 2 years ago, because most of these companies don't make it even to 2 years, nevertheless 5 years. So one of the things for me that's critical about Manatech is that we're a 26-year-old company. So we have been through the trials and tribulations that a traditional business goes through. So for me, that was quite an important thing when I was looking at Manatech, is that this company has got a track record. The next thing is that you've got this opportunity to build a global business. I mean, yeah, all of us living in South Africa, I mean, there's nothing stopping you from having customers in the east or the west or the north or the south. I mean, wherever you know people, if Manatech's open in one of those 26 different countries, you can in fact have customers using the product there. But more importantly, you can also, if you want to, start building a business there with other associates. We've actually had in this month, I mean, I've seen a large amount of people sign up from Australia. I mean, as customers, as associates. So it just shows you, this is a global business. But more importantly than that, why I'm sharing this with you is because think about if, some of us, on the call this evening, we might be thinking, what happens if I want to go live in another country? I might want to go live in Australia. But the nice thing is, when you're building your business in South Africa, all your customers in South Africa, when you move to Australia, you don't lose your business because you still got all your customers, because your business is actually, in fact, it's online. It's not something where it's a bricks and mortar business. You can't take it with you. Your business is wherever you live, you can be paid. So for instance, even if I did decide to move to another country, I decided to move to, Amsterdam as an example, to London or whatever. I mean, all that I do is I change I do a country reallocation, and all the volume I've built, all the customers I've got in South Africa, and all my business I've built here still stays with me and everywhere. And what will actually happen, they'll pay me in my currency or the new country I'm living in, because I obviously have to register there. and I don't lose my business. I mean, what an amazing concept if you really go and think about that. I mean, incredible. And then, of course, you know, us being a public company, we've been a public company now for 21 years. I mean, so we are a legit company. We're not a fly-by-night company. We've got stockholders, we've got shareholders, we've got, in fact, big financial institutions that invest in Manatech. So for me, that's also something that's amazing, is to be part of this company as a public company. So we are like squeaky clean. You know, we don't take shortcuts. We make sure that everything that we do is completely above board. And we've been doing that for the last 21 years as a public company. And of course, you know, for me, the next thing is that we're part of the Direct Selling Association, not only in America and Australia and New Zealand and loads of these other countries, but also in South Africa. And I believe there's only about 20, just over 20 countries, 20 companies, in fact, that are part of the Direct Selling Association. That's basically a third party that looks at your company, looks at your product, and makes sure that whatever you're doing is completely legitimate, and you've got a legitimate product, got a legitimate compensation plan, you're building your business with ethics, and you basically above board. And we obviously are part of the Direct Selling Association. So for me, just quickly to run through this, Manatech really falls on 3 different pillars. The first being that we are on the health and wellness industry. So I almost like to think about this. We are all wellpreneurs. We're wellness entrepreneurs, wellpreneurs, you know. And if you're a mom and you're looking at doing this in the business, you are a mompreneur or dadpreneur. That's what we all want to do. Is we want to be entrepreneurs. That's the base. I mean, that's the base way to be paid, is being entrepreneur, because you get to leverage yourself. And we're going to talk a little bit more about that a little bit later. But health and wellness, I think, for me, quite interesting. I was reading an article on the in the newspaper, on the Business Day, 2 or 3 days ago, saying that, you know, people now, after what we've been through with, you know, with COVID-19, people now value their wellness and their health more than they do their finances. I mean, I think it's probably one of the first times in the world where that's really happened. And if you think about the 2008 global financial crisis, it was all about their money. I mean, now people lost a lot of money, but they realized their health was also compromised, you know, or people around them at least. So people really value the health and wellness. And we've got a product that is just unbelievable. I mean, we've got clinical trials. This product helps with immune function. I mean, how amazing is a nutritional company to have a clinical trial, double-blind, placebo-controlled, peer-reviewed study on our product? So, so for me, just quickly, the health and wellness industry is a multi-trillion-dollar industry. It's basically, you know, something, you know, where people are investing in their wellness and their health to be able to live a better quality of life. Mostly for me, there's really 4 things that make Manatech, you know, stand out in the space. Number 1 is our patents, over 141 patents. 89 of those patents are active patents right now. So we've got more patents than you can imagine. Scientific validation, we've got, as I mentioned earlier, we've got 19 published clinical trials, and 12 of those are double-blind, placebo-controlled studies, where we can prove that the product helps with cognitive function, digestive function, immune function, recovery. We've got one that shows what the product does for delayed onset muscle soreness. We've got another one, actually, in fact, if you don't know this, on our skincare product, the youth serum, showing it helps with, you know, making your skin look more youthful and firm and so forth. So there's loads and loads of studies, which is really, really cool. We've got a very disruptive technology. So I'm telling you this evening, if you Google Manatech, man, you're going to see positive things, you're going to see negative things. But in fact, you're going to see more positive things than negative things. And that's really the way with anything out there. Whether you Google water, you're going to find some negative things about water. You're going to find mostly positive things. But whether you Google any religion, whether you Google any big corporation, whether it's Apple or Google or, you know, whatever, South African breweries or whatever company there is, you are going to find negative things about everything out there. So I think it's just very important that you obviously have an open mind. And if you've got questions, because this is something that's quite important, is that when I first, you know, went to do my research in Manatech, I saw these things, and it's so important that I wrote those questions down. And I asked the person that was obviously presenting to me, I said, listen, can you get, you know, I'd like to get this answered. Please, can you tell me a little bit more about this? And I didn't just sort of wither away and not ask the question, because I mean, obviously I wouldn't be doing being on the call this evening 12 years later, having been done this for 12 years, traveled all over the world, you know, to more than probably 15, 16, 17, or probably 20 countries with Manatech, you know, sharing my story, sharing how the business works, and being able to obviously be able to do this full time. In fact, I still do it part time with a full time income, so which is really cool. And then of course I've got a 90-day satisfaction guarantee on our product, which is really incredible. So I'm not sure who's coming into the door there. I'm on a conference call. Oh, is it my? I don't know. I'm doing a call yet. Okay, sorry. With my daughter, I wasn't sure who's coming into the room, you know. But anyways, So we've got a guarantee on our product. We offer a 90-day satisfaction guarantee on our product, which means that you can actually, or any of your customers can use the product for up to 90 days. And if you're not satisfied, we'll give you a refund of up to 8,500 Rand, which is really, really amazing if you go and think about it like that. I mean, most companies don't offer a 90-day money back guarantee. And one of the reasons, in fact, why we do this is because of something that happens in your body. It's something called glycosylation. And what happens is your cells take around 90 days to become glycosylated, which means that your body, your cells are actually communicating, and we're very much working on a cellular level from a nutritional point of view. So that's why we feel 90 days is the optimal amount of money. Yes, it costs us more money if people send their product back, but we in fact know that people are going to get better results if they can stick on the product for longer. In fact, if you can get people through the first 90 days on the core products, most clients stay on the product for years and years and years. Then, of course, the next pillar, you'll see the Mission 5 Million. What's that all about? It's really about making a difference in kids' lives that are malnourished. Now, there are over 5 million kids that die every year from being malnourished, and our goal is to link 5 million customers with 5 million kids. And as I mentioned earlier, Leandri and Marianne, both of those ladies are now feeding over 200 kids every single month in the product because of the volume that they produce. They not only make a difference in their world, but they can make a difference in the world at the exact same time. So I think that's pretty exciting as well. Then quickly onto the business. So now a sip of water here quickly. And that's what this evening is all about, is how does the business work? You know, network marketing is one of the fastest growing business models in the world because it offers so many people the opportunity to start their own business for the very first time. It's a turnkey operation. You don't have to go and invent a new product. You don't have to go and invent the back office. You don't have to go and think about, you know, how you're going to debtors and creditors and infrastructure and IT systems and intellectual property and any of those things. All you have to do is you just plug into Manatech, you sign up with the company, costs you almost barely nothing to start, and you have the opportunity to tap into all their resources, but you have the opportunity to build an international business. And I think that is so exciting, where you can, you know, build it part-time. I mean, you've got no, you know, no minimums you've got to do. You've got no maximum amount of product you've got to sell every month. You've got no, you know, almost, let me call it a curfew. You've got no one, you know, checking up on you. And you've got to, you know, check in at this time and check out at that time. And, you know, you are your own boss. You are your own dadpreneur, mompreneur, entrepreneur. You are the CEO of your own business. Not the person who introduced you. You are the CEO. So it's like you incorporate it. It's all about you. You're the CEO, and you got to go and build your business. But the amazing thing about this is low startup costs. We don't buy a product and go and sell to other people. Everyone orders online, and you obviously, all of us get our own website. We get our own app. We get our own you know, resources to be able to allow people to order all over the world, and the products are delivered to them. And obviously, because we work with account numbers, the company knows exactly who to pay the commission to. So, and of course, as I mentioned earlier, don't just think, who do I know? And, you know, you're not an agent for a specific area. Like, I'm not the agent for Cape Town for the Manatech products. I've got customers in Cape Town, but I've got customers in other areas as well. You know, not just in South Africa, but in other markets that also use the product. So that for me is quite cool for all of us on the call here this evening to be able to have that opportunity. Then just quickly, where does the money come from? Well, 20% of the money comes from, you know, traditionally, if you look at the traditional distribution models, that 20% of the money goes into producing the product and 80% goes to advertising and marketing. Now, Manatech, obviously being a network marketing company, is we don't spend any money on advertising and marketing. We put the majority of the money towards research and development to run the company, and the rest of the money we pay out into commissions and into incentives, and also to our Mission 5 Million Foundation, which is where we help the kids. So you would never have seen Manatech before on a billboard, hear about on radio, or a television ad, or sponsoring sports teams or celebrities. We take all that money and pay it to me and you on the call this evening for going out there and talking to people about the product, and we can make sure that we can build personal relationships with those customers. Just on to the next slide. I've covered some of these things, but I just want to run through this very, very briefly. Is, you know, we discovered glycans, and glycans is really the study of, you know, cellular communication. In fact, the National Academy of Sciences says that glycans are needed for every single function of the human body. Now, you might be on the call this evening and thinking, what is glycans all about? Well, most people have heard of essential fatty acids, they've heard of amino acids, or vitamins and minerals, but they've never heard of glycans. And glycans is something that's needed for every single function in the human body, because it helps with so many, every single function your body performs, it needs glycans for. And you might be asking, well, why do I even need to take the product? Well, the Manatech products specifically is because you don't get these glycans in the modern day diet. I think all of us on the call here know that the modern day diet has changed very much over the last 50 years. So we are now able to use this product, and that gives us everything that we should be getting that we were getting in nature 50 years ago. That's really the long and the short about this. It's giving you a plant-based technology in a supplement form, so your body can function better. So we've got obviously a global scientific advisory board. We've got obviously loads of patents. We've got an amazing quality assurance program where our products are tested by NSF, which is a third party to validate whatever we say is in the product is in fact in the product. And of course, I mentioned the clinical trials already, but if you look on the left-hand side there, you'll see that we've got fat loss products, we've got skincare and beauty, we've got immune supporting products, we've got fitness products, anti-aging products, brain function, or these products help you with your brain function, and of course we've got general nutrition. So that's sort of the all the different products. And get back to the person who invited you this evening onto the call, because they're going to be able to send you a lot more information on all these different links and everything. So basically this evening is basically obviously a little bit more about the business, and so you'll see there's two different types of people that get on board with Nanotech, either customers or associates. Now, to be a customer, there's no joining fees. You can get up to 20% loyalty points back on all your orders every single month when you order products. You get between 10 and 20% back of whatever you're ordering for your own personal consumption. You get to buy the products at wholesale. And more importantly, something new is now implemented is called the customer referral program, which means you as a customer can now refer other customers and get 25% back on whatever they spend in loyalty points also, which means really if you are sharing this every month with 4 people using the product that you're using, your products will be for free every single month, which is really, really quite amazing. So you can have it for free. And of course, if you decide to be an associate, obviously you'll see there that it's, let me just move this up a bit. Okay, so as an associate, you'll see that you pay 750 Rand, and that's a once-off fee that you pay per year. And there's a renewal a year later for 350 Rand. But really think about this like from a business point of view. 750 Rand to start a business is really next to nothing. It's a bargain. And of course, remember there after 3 months, there are success tracker fees, which is anything from 775 Rand up to about 150 Rand, 250 Rand, depending on what features you want on your back office to be able to see more. But that shouldn't be an issue if you're listening to this for the first time this evening, but I'm just mentioning that as well. Then, of course, same thing, you also earn up to 20% back on your loyalty points. You also buy the products for wholesale. So basically, customers and associates both pay the same for the product. And then you'll see there you can really access 6 different ways of earning. The first one being customer bonuses, which is on all your personal customers. You earn commissions on those. There's something called the first order bonus. So on any person you personally introduce the first time they order, you earn a bonus on that of up to, well, it's basically 25%. Customer bonuses range anything from 10 to 15%. But think about it like this, is that imagine if you've got 10 customers all ordering every month the product for, maybe, 10,000 Rand for the product as an example. They might be living all over the world. Basically every month you're earning, as an example, 1,500 Rand every single month, not even including any other commissions. That's just on your customer bonuses. But if you did that all in 1 month, it would be 2,500 Rand just for referring those people. So it's 25% whatever you refer to other people. The next bonus you've got is something called the mentor bonus, which means that if you're on the call this evening, whoever the associate that's got you on the call is they are going to mentor you and help you and guide you through the process, because they are also going to be compensated for helping you. So for instance, with mentor bonuses, when you get people to certain ranks, they get bonuses, so they've got a vested interest in seeing you succeed. And of course, the fourth bonus is what we like to call uni-level commissions, which just means different levels. Of course, the more volume you produce close to you, the bigger your commissions are. So that's how uni-level works. I don't want to get into too much detail this evening about that. And then, of course, the fifth commission is what we call a leadership check match. And that is basically the same thing, is when you help people when you develop leaders, you get to check match their checks up to 20%. So for instance, if you help them earn an extra 10,000 Rand, you earn 2,000 Rand, and that's just one of the commissions. And there's obviously 6 different commissions, which is really, really nice. So whoever is working with you wants you to succeed and do well. And of course, the 6th commission is the global bonus pool, where they take all the turnover of all over the world. It gets put into a pool and we pay out shares, and that can be quite exponential as well once you start earning the global bonus pool, and you start earning that from bronze, presidential, and above. So you'll see a little bit later what that means. So let's just run through the compensation plan very, very quickly. So for me, the first thing is what you should be doing is, if you're on the call this evening, is saying, okay, how do I get to 500 points? Once you get to 500 points, now that includes your own order and the orders of all your customers. But once you do 500 points, you earn approximately around 1,500 Rand a month. It can be up to 2,500 Rand. Just as an example. So that's about, I'm talking about points. So think about like every point is around 12 Rand 50. So it's almost in the US, 1 point would be $1, but in South Africa, they're being very lenient with us because we're not paying 17 Rand a point. We're paying 12 Rand 50, 13 Rand 50 for 1 point. So that just basically just means when you do 500 points, you plus all your personal customers that are ordering from you, you sold about 6,000 Rand of the product. So that's the first goal. And as I mentioned, you earn about 1,500 Rand on doing that, and it can be a little bit more. So that's the first goal. The next goal is then going to be to help 2 associates to do the same thing. So yeah, you've got your 5 customers. Now you've got 2 associates who've also paid 750 Rand. You've gotten them on board to now also get their customers. So there's really only 3 people that are associates, but there's about 15 customers of the product, or it could be less. It works on volume. So it doesn't have to be actual people. It can be one person ordering 500 points. It's also 100% fine. It's really all based on volume. So we're not paying for you recruiting new people. We're paying you for the amount of product that you and your organization sell. So, but once you do that, you call the director. So you've produced about 1,500 points, and you are now earning anything from 1,500 up to, it can be anything from 1,500 up to about 2,500 a month, give or take, depending on your structure. So the next one is obviously now to help 4 people do that. So for instance, you have now helped another 2 of your associates do the same thing, and that check can be anything from about 1,500 Rand all the way up to about 5,000 Rand a month. And it can be a bit more. It can probably be up to 6,000 Rand, 7,000 Rand if you're getting the fast start bonuses. But let's be conservative. Let's say that a silver director earns around anything from 1,500 Rand up to about 3,500, 4,000 Rand. So of course, the next step is to obviously to duplicate, but you'll see there's some levels in between. So as a silver director, there is around 2,500 points that you've done over the year. But if you can imagine, if you have all four your associates each do 2,500 points, and of course you're going to be a silver director where you see it's 10,000 points, and there's even a level in between that, which is called executive director. But basically, at silver executive director, which is 10,000 points, it means you and your entire team together are selling about 10,000 Rand of the product. You earn anything from about 7,500 Rand all the way up into about 20,000 Rand a month. And I've seen that it all varies because it depends how many people you've personally enrolled, how many personal customers you've got, how many people you've helped mentor. So there's many commissions you can earn. So I'd rather tell you what the lower amounts are, and then obviously what the higher amounts can be depending on your structure. So that's called silver executive director. There's another level in between, which is called gold executive director, which is what all the leaders this evening they were sharing. The 2 leaders, Marianne and Leandri, were sharing. They're now at 20,000 points. So their passive income check is anything from about 15,000 to about 30,000 Rand a month, which I think is unbelievable. I mean, it can obviously be a lot more depending how many customers they've got, their structure and so forth. But I mean, what an amazing, to build up an income producing asset that's paying you out that commission every month because all the customers you and your team have built up using the product. So that's called the gold executive director. And of course, the next level is to be a presidential director. So think about you helping your 4 friends, your associates, help them go silver director, but now your next goal is to help those silver directors to all go silver executive director, which means each of them are now doing 10,000 points. You then call the presidential director, and your check at presidential can be anything from about 30,000 Rand up to about 55,000 Rand a month. As a presidential, can probably be up to 60,000 a month. But I'd rather give you the lower and the higher amount because to give you a good idea. So that's obviously called presidential director, and then of course you'll see there's something called bronze presidential. Remember, at bronze presidential, you're going into the global bonus pool. So bronze presidential plus minus about 80,000 a month. Next level up from there is silver presidential director, which is about 160,000 points, which can be plus minus 120, 130, 140,000 a month. It just gives, you can give or take. But then gold presidential, 240,000 points. It's just you and your whole team that have really got a large amounts of associates that have got customers, and you've got large amounts of leaders as well. And then you'll see platinum presidential, anything, from 250,000 upwards. It just all depends on the structure, like I once shared earlier. So basically, that is that's basically the long and the short of the compensation plan. I've tried to do this quite quickly. I see we're already on 20 to 9. But what I want to suggest to all of you is that, you know, if you've got any questions, write them down. Make sure you work through the information on the product to know what the product's all about and how amazing this is and what it does for other people. Number 3, I want to encourage you to get back to the person who invited you and ask the questions. Don't be afraid to ask. And, you know, for me, when I looked at this, you know, 12 years ago, I thought, like, what have I got to lose? I was sharing with some leaders the other day that, you know, very often, you know, a lot of people that are involved in Mantech are not doing it for retirement, you know, and it's amazing for me how many people, you know, they haven't built up enough of a nest egg to be able to retire one day. And the amazing thing is, a lot of people, when you look what happened with COVID, when we went into lockdown, most people couldn't even survive like 2-3 months. Never mind like being able to retire for 10 years or 5 years. They couldn't survive 2 or 3 months. I mean, so for me, I want to just urge you, all of you, dig your well before you're thirsty and build your business, build it with integrity, go out there and build it to make a difference in other people's lives. And most importantly, in closing, have fun with it. It shouldn't feel like work. It shouldn't feel like a job. It should really feel like something that you're doing because you have a passion to help other people. And I think for me, that's what makes it easy to do, is to go out there, is to share this with you, because you really are listening to where you can find solutions for other people, where you can help them have a better quality of life, or at least enrich their quality of life, if I can call it that. So thank you for being on the call this evening. It's been wonderful to share with all of you. I just want to mention that I will be doing a welcome call on the 5th of October, which is Monday coming now. We will be welcoming all new associates over the last month. So hop onto that, invite all your new people. And then on the 15th of October, we're going to have a product talk, like pretty much like this evening, but we're just going to cover products. Write that in your diary. It's the 15th of October. And then, of course, the last thing that we're doing, that I want to just mention to all of you for this month is going to be that we'll be doing another opportunity call like this evening, the 29th of October. So you can also get the details from the person invited on the call. So I want to wish you an awesome weekend, and I just want to to all the leaders again, well done again on an amazing business experience. Extremely proud of all of you. And look forward to, obviously, for a lot of you on the call this evening, meet you all in person when we're allowed to mix and mingle with people again. So thank you very much, and have a good evening and all the best.